You have it for Congress in West Virginia, too. That is the district now represented by Shelley Moore Capito, who's leaving it to run for the U.S. Senate. You know all that. Alex Mooney is the Republican and joins us on Metro News Talkline. Alex, good morning. How are you?
Good morning. Thanks for having me on again.
Thanks for coming on again. Your reaction to what the EPA said yesterday?
Well, I mean, it's upsetting, disappointing. I completely oppose it. But it's not a surprise because in 2008, when Barack Obama was first campaigning for president with the strong support of Nick Casey, my opponent, he said that in order to build a power plant, it would bankrupt you from now on. Barack Obama never made a secret of his plans to use this cap-and-trade type of regulation to put the coal industry out of business. But it didn't stop Nick Casey, my opponent, from campaigning wholeheartedly for him in 2008 and again in 2012. So Nick Casey owns this decision, and he can't dodge it. He should not be allowed to dodge it. It's no secret. Ask her for your next guest with Citizens for Coal if it's any surprise that Barack Obama wanted to do this. And Nick Casey, when he was on your show yesterday, said Obama has turned on us and done this stuff. He never turned. He said from day one he was going to do this stuff, and everybody knew it, which is why the voters of the state wouldn't vote for him for president. But Nick Casey still thinks Obama's a great guy.
Alex, I'm not going to give Nick a pass on this, and we pressed him pretty hard on this yesterday. But look, you were formerly the party chairman, Republican Party chairman in Maryland, and isn't it a given that as party chair, you're going to have to back the candidate, whether you really agree with him totally or not? I mean, that's kind of the job of the party chair. So isn't Nick Casey, as the Democratic Party chairman, isn't that his job to say, yeah, support the president? Support the Democratic nominee in 2008, for example?
Honestly, I'd say he's in the wrong party. If his party is doing this kind of stuff, if the president, the guy he's supporting for president, is doing this kind of stuff, that's time not to back him. That's the time to stand up and say, no, you're not representing our party, and you oppose it. But see, Nick Casey's okay with this because when Nick Casey was party chairman, he helped adopt a plank on the Democrat Party of West Virginia platform calling for the Kyoto Treaty to be approved in the United States of America. Nick Casey did that himself, and the Kyoto Treaty is just what Obama's doing now. According to a 1990 report by WVU, West Virginia University, the Kyoto Treaty will result in 35% decrease in coal production by 2020. So Nick Casey's okay with this. He owns it. He supported it as party chairman. He put the Kyoto Treaty in the West Virginia Democrat Party platform. There's no way he can run from that. He doesn't have a problem with it. Nick Casey's one of the few people in the state who thinks Barack Obama's doing a great job.
Alex Mooney's with us, Republican candidate for Congress in West Virginia, too. The Casey people push back on you, Alex, and point to when you were in the Maryland legislature in 2002, where you introduced a bill to enact a moratorium on new power plant construction until Maryland could meet, quote, overall compliance with the national primary ambient air quality standard for ozone as required by the EPA. Why'd you do that?
That was actually to make to have power plants be put not in residential neighborhoods, but in industrial areas. That was the goal of that, because one was being built in the district I represented. And the other one he brought up, did he bring up the other one, too, about a cap-and-trade related bill that I offered an amendment to?
I don't remember.
Yeah, well, there was another one that he's been attacking me for, and this came out in the primary as well, where they put a cap-and-trade type of bill on the Senate floor, and I offered an amendment to the bill, which would have killed the bill, because what they did is when they pushed this, they exempted the Democrat unions from the bill because the manufacturing plants were all unionized. It's just like passing Obamacare, but exempting the unions and the government and other special friends from Obamacare. And I know that if we put the unions back into the bill, it would have killed the bill because we killed it the year before. So I offered an amendment to make the bill apply to everybody or nobody, and they defeated my amendment because they knew it would have killed the bill, and then I voted against the bill anyway. In fact, I voted against cap and trade 5 times as a state senator. So my record is clear in opposing this, and the amendment I offered would have killed the bill by including the manufacturing plants. And that was the one I thought he brought up on your show. But nonetheless, neither of those are accurate. Of course, Nick Casey's going to try to distort my fantastic record of standing up against these type of regulations as a state senator, but he can't run from what he did. I mean, he probably didn't answer why he put the Kyoto Treaty into the West Virginia Democrat Party platform.
Alex, should West Virginia, should the country look at what is happening with the public? The public has a concern about climate change. There was a poll somebody referenced earlier today said the majority public actually accept a little bit higher electric bills if it meant helping the climate or helping the environment. Should West Virginia go with the flow here and say, okay, let's work with the EPA and figure out how we accommodate these regulations?
We have to fight back. I mean, you can't. The goal of these regulations is to put coal out of business. There's no way to work with them. They're completely unreasonable. Actually, the state of West Virginia, our legislature, our governor, our congressmen, we can come up with our own regulations. We don't need Obama's EPA to do it. In fact, Obama tried to do this through a legislative act, but Congress would not pass it. So now he's abusing his power, in my opinion, and he's trying to force it through fiat, through the EPA. So no, we have to fight back. We cannot survive with these continual attacks. And as soon as they keep moving the goalpost anyway.
Do you believe, Alex? Do you?
Coal is clear. Bankrupt you if you're going to build coal.
Do you
have a war on coal?
Do you believe, as the Union of Concerned Scientists say, do you believe that man's activity is causing the climate to change? And if so, do we have? If not, that ends the discussion. If so, do we have a responsibility to do something about it?
Well, do I believe man's activity? I think we're such a small player in this part that it's negligible what man's activity does in this whole arena. This world's been around for millions of years, and I think the climate goes up and down a little bit in the millions of years, looking at the long view of things. And I don't think these studies are accurate one bit. They claim that the man's causing it. There are all sorts of causes of this, and what's the problem with even back to what Obama's trying to do right here in West Virginia, is that other countries like China do not have to comply with these rules. They just don't. They ignore things like the Kyoto Treaty. They don't have these kind of restrictions. So we can build, if you're worried about what man does, building the coal here is better than burning it in China or some other country anyway. You're going to actually have more pollution because they have zero regulations whatsoever. So it makes no sense.
Alex Mooney, Republican candidate for Congress in West Virginia 2. Alex, good to talk to you.
Thank you.
We'll stay in touch with you, okay?
Thank you.
Yep. All right, we're going to have a very, very spirited West Virginia 2 race. Let's go to Larry. Hi, Larry. Thanks for waiting. What can you add?